evening, everybody. This is Boss Llama. I'm here to give a quick tutorial to the current version of Retro Pixel Castles, a game that's raising money on Kickstarter at the moment. Just a few days left on the Kickstarter, and what we're looking at is an InDev version. This isn't even alpha yet. It's InDev version 10-14-2014b. So things are changing pretty rapidly right now. But for now, for folks who are trying out the free demo online at retropixelcastles.com, this is going to be a little tutorial to help you get started and understand what the game is doing right now. So let's play. As it says, this is a tech demo. This is not a completed product. I'm going to play on a map, The Quiet Forest. This is kind of a well-balanced, fully fleshed out map. The first thing I'm going to do, I'm going to show you some buttons up here. We've got on the left hand the Return to Main Menu button. Notice you cannot currently save your game, so feel free to play around, experiment. This is coming up soon, but not quite yet. Right here we have a list of all of our villagers. On the left side you see a little animation showing what they're doing currently. In the middle is a list of names. You got pink for females and blue for males. And on the right is their level. Level raises attributes. It doesn't do a heck of a lot else right now, but that's okay. It's being worked on. And right here we have a mini-map which shows us where on the overall map we are. Here you see all of my guys, little fellows running around in green dots. This is not my favorite starting point, but I'll give it a go. My favorite starting point is in fact up here because there's a farm that one can claim. The bright blue squares, those are pre-built buildings that you can claim if you're near enough to them. And but yes, right now you see all those little icons popping up above the guys' heads. That's a house with an X to it. These guys are all without homes right now, and they would like to fix that. Here are some houses right here, actually, and that what we see right here, if we zoom in, which you can do with the plus key on your keypad, those are carrots that are growing. Zooming back out is a minus. I'm going to set my village center down close to those. Claim those houses. That will help a great deal early on. These are small shacks. Small shacks can house up to 8 people. I have 24 currently, and so with 3 small shacks, that'll be all of them. As it says, I need to assign workers. Notice nobody's doing anything yet. But if you set builders, which is kind of the basic function of this, I put them all on builder because I don't have any other buildings, they're going to get going pretty soon. They'll head down there, assuming I left them a way to get there. Actually, they might not even have a way. Let's see here. There is a way. It's a long way. Don't know if they're going to figure it out. The other thing I have to do, sorry. There, I have to assign them to gather some resources. Notice that the building requires, down here, now here they come. They are running for it now. So, 2 things you have to do. You have to place your village center, and then you have to assign people to collect the resources needed to build the village center. This building requires 15 wood and 15 stone. This number, which you'll see in a similar place, it has a little hammer next to it. That's employees or workers for a given facility. On houses, once these are repaired and claimed, you'll see how many people live there. And then this is the range. This tells you how far away you can build additional facilities from the one you start with. With pre-built structures, if they're within range of your village center, you will claim them and your workers will automatically proceed to work on them. Now over here you see there's 3 colors of dots on the spots I told my workers to work. Green dots indicate that a worker is currently assigned to go and get that. Yellow indicates it's accessible, but no worker has yet been assigned. And red means that they can't reach it, so they're going to have to get something else out of the way first. As they mine the first rank off, the next row will become yellow and then green as people are assigned. I actually over-assigned the wood a little bit there, so I'm going to come over here to my selection work criteria tab. And I see right here there's the brush, which I can change from a circle shape to a filleted square to chamfered square or a regular square. I'm just going to leave it on a circle for now. And you can assign work specifically to wood, which is any of the trees, regardless if they're brown or green, to stone, which is this up here. I'm going to need some stone as well. To crystals, which are not in the game yet, or they are in the game, excuse me, they don't have a purpose in the game yet. Here we see some blue crystals, here we see some red crystals. But the crystal's purpose is going to be magical stuff. They're working on introducing alchemy and magical buildings, potions, things like that into the game, and crystals will be needed. And finally, food, which is what we see here. I'm going to need that. That's going to be a priority, but I don't need it quite yet, so I'll come back to that. The final one is to unassign work. And so I'm going to unassign some of that unnecessary wood so that they don't waste their time getting all that when I actually need them to get stone over here in order to finish the building. The other thing you see is this number 4. That tells you how many squares around your cursor is. I can reduce it to 1 and get very precise about what I'm doing. I can make it as big as 30, in fact. And if you do a square 30, you can get up to 900 squares at once. 4 is the default. It seems to work pretty well. Now, what they're going to do is they're going to gather all the wood, they're going to bring it, you see how the wood is already there, so let me cancel a little more of this, because right at the beginning, excuse me if I'm going a little fast, it's necessary to move very quickly if you don't want villagers to starve. Notice that you start with 0 food, and over here you've got their counters, and the counters are dropping down. I'll go over these counters while they gather resources. Top right here, that's wood. If you mouse over the number itself, you see it's 3 numbers divided by a slash. The first represents how much is stored in a building anywhere, if you have storage facilities. The second is how much is lying on the ground, and the third one is how much is being physically carried by one of your villagers. Second number is stone, same thing. Third is food. I don't have any food right now, I need it soon. Now as they're bringing stone, you see it's counting up the number of stone that are on site at the work location. The thing to know is that it doesn't have to get all the way full before work begins. If there are other workers or builders standing around who don't have a mining task, they can begin construction, as we see this guy doing, and that will actually lower the second number. And so there's the 14, 13, etc. It's counting how much, this isn't just the total, this is how much work actually will need to be done overall using that resource. And so it's going to count down to 0 while this one counts up to match whatever the second number is. When this is done, they're going to move on and they're going to start working on anything else that's in the area. This uses, at present, a first-in, first-out sort of priority system. So I believe it goes north to south, it'll finish the building that I built, and then they'll immediately begin working on each of these in order. If I build multiple different buildings, they will work on those buildings in order. And I definitely am going to build some more buildings shortly. And with the village center complete, you see my right-hand tab pops up. This is where I give build orders. Now, I don't have any objects yet, that's not yet quite in the game, but there are 9 other buttons. Decorative and flooring things, which are not 100% necessary, are not yet inserted in the game, and the bottom one is a debug menu, lets you spawn extra villagers, see the map grid, stuff like that. But we've got these 6 tabs that we want to know about, and the most important, in my personal opinion, is farming. And the reason you need farming is because that's the only way you're going to survive. If you don't have farming, you die. And in future builds there will be other means of getting resources, but for now, getting food I should say, but for now farming is the one. So I'm going to slap 2 large farms as required construction right here. They're going to work through those 3 houses because those were there first, and then they're going to the farms. At present, in the unstable test build, there is a command to cancel build orders to deconstruct things. In the stable InDev right now, that's not there, so you can't stop work on something once it's assigned. If it's a building, you can cancel resource collection, but you can't cancel a building order. But that's coming very soon. It's the current thing being worked on, so no worries. I want to put my farms fairly close to the houses, because one of the primary functions of the farmers is, as the food grows, they carry it to the houses for distribution, and the house is where your workers go to actually eat. So you want to make sure that you actually have food in the houses as much as possible. Large farms, they take twice as many resources as small farms, they grow twice as much food, but the important thing, and why I like them in particular, is that they only take up a few more spaces. They're far more space efficient for what you get out of them. And so, assuming you are able to get enough materials to them early on, you have enough people working on them, I'm going to always go with the large farms instead of the small farms. And here I'm going to assign some more wood, because I'm going to need those to get those farms up. And I really, really want those farms up as soon as possible. It is critical to the survival of this colony past a couple of days that I have a food supply coming in. The reason I'm not gathering the carrots up north quite yet is because if you just pull them out of the wild without a farm, your villagers will eat them and they're gone. It's non-renewable. However, if you have farmers and you assign some farm workers before you tell them to collect carrots, they will take those carrots to the farms and they will plant your farm for you. The farm doesn't just automatically come with food, you have to go find seeds and plant it. And therefore that creates a renewable food supply. This is why it's important to build farms really early, because if your villagers hit the point where their hunger is getting down below 10, they're going to get desperate for food, and they will run out and eat your local food resources and make it much harder. Notice that there aren't a whole lot of other carrots around here. They're going to make it much harder for you to find food to set your farms up, and chances are you're going to starve. In future builds, there will be other food supplies. There might be animals or just things you can get in the woods, stuff like that. But for now, get your farms going, get them going ASAP. If I didn't have houses here, I wouldn't be worrying about them. I would be building the farms before the houses. It's convenient the houses are here. That's actually helpful as well. Houses are a place that your villagers go, as I said, to get food, also a place for them to rest. They will recover energy much more quickly in a house than they will if they are collapsing in the fields for a nap. And if we look at one of our builders at random here, we're going to see they've got a set of stats. You've got hit points, you've got their hunger, which counts down, you've got energy, which counts down. This guy's going to need a rest pretty soon. Up top right, in the middle here's happiness in blue. Top right is the level, and then you've got strength, dexterity, intelligence. I don't know that these have too much effect on the game as yet, but look for them in the future to be a significant part of what you have to think about with your villagers. If a villager is married, male and female villagers can partner up. You'll see the name of their spouse here as well with a little picture of a wedding ring. And if the couple's expecting a child, the female will have an indicator to tell you that they're pregnant. The plan is that a pregnant villager is a less efficient worker during pregnancy, but obviously you get the benefit of your population increasing, which could be super useful as you try to expand your village. You just saw a whole bunch of little red +1s pop up there. It's hit points, and you see in here our villagers are increasing in level. They increase in level. You see the blue XP buttons coming up as well. You see some green stat icons coming up as well. Those are generally indicating that a level has been increased. Let me zoom in a little closer. You see the little hammer popping up. That indicates that work has been put in on the structure in question. Little white +1s and -1s indicate a resource being picked up or dropped off. And there we saw, here we go, we had a couple. We've got, this one's married, and those little hearts indicate that they just got it on. Every time that happens, there is a tiny little chance that the female will get pregnant, and so you want to see a lot of those hearts if you are trying to expand your town. In order for that to happen, generally they need to be happy, and they need to be idle. They need, or at least have plenty of energy. The fact that these houses were here means my guys are a lot happier than you sometimes will find. If you start and you're building all the farms and you haven't got to your houses yet, happiness can drop to 0 within a day or two. And you have to get houses to them or they're just going to be miserable. Having those there has actually kept the population pretty good right now. I think I'm going to be alright. I don't think I'm going to have any starving deaths. They're able to rest quickly and get energy, which is good. And you see these folks, they head back there to their home occasionally. Look how high that energy is. That's beautiful. This farm is almost done. It needs a couple more pieces of wood. And right now I have less work than people that are able to do work. That's fine. That's actually the idle time I was talking about. That's where people rest. That's where people find mates. It's a positive thing. Sorry if the music's a little loud relative to my voice. I've got my voice boosted to try and make up for that. That's not currently controllable. Custom control sets are coming up shortly. There are some movement keys, some hotkeys that are worth knowing about. You use WASD to move. You can also right-click and hold and drag to move around the map. If you just click to select, anytime you want to unselect your current function, whether it's a person or a build order, you hit your escape key. You zoom in and out with your keypad plus and minus. You can toggle the full screen with F12. You can bring a grid up so you can see how you're building with the G key. F2 is a screenshot, and F3, much like Minecraft, if you played that, it will bring up kind of a graphical performance measure. It tells you your memory that's allocated and things like that. Okay, now we've got our farm, so I need to assign some workers. You have to free them up first. I'm going to put 4 workers on each of these farms. You don't need a maximum number of workers for something to be efficient. And I'm going to say, go get this food. I want that food down to those farms, and I want it growing fast. Yeah, ideally, though farmers, here's the thing, this is why you assign workers to these huts. It's not necessarily that they're any better or worse overall at any given place, but you can control what jobs they do. You see, these guys have all picked up carrots, all but one of them got a carrot. I want to figure out where whoever the Tembile caveman is. But they're going to get those carrots, and they're going to bring them straight back to their farm, and they're going to start planting them. Food is getting, hunger's getting a little low, but might be able to grow some of these in time that people don't get too ornery. Hopefully don't have any deaths. I often do have a couple of deaths from starvation just because it's such a rapid mechanic. Balancing of farms is not in. Farms were recently inserted as a working thing, something with the food supply that could be repeated. So it has not been balanced yet. Don't worry, it will get better. But if you can get these 2 big farms up and going right away, you should be alright. I'm probably going to build a 3rd one pretty rapidly, but I want to show everybody a couple other types of buildings. You've got 3 types of housing. You have a tent, you have a small shack, which is what I started with there, fortunately enough, and a small hovel. The small shack is actually the most efficient. It's the same size as the tent, and it holds twice as many people as the tent. It holds 8 people as opposed to 4. The small hovel is it holds 12 people, but it's also 5x5 instead of 4x4, and that takes up a lot of space when you're fighting to cram your people in. So okay, we've gathered all that food. What they'll do is, as the food grows, they'll actually reseed the remaining couple of slots on the farm. Each of the farms, the large farms, can hold 12 food items. The small ones can hold 6. Looks like we got 9 in one of them, 11 in the other, so that's good. The 11 farm in particular will fairly quickly start producing food. If I look at my mini-map here, this bright orange color is something indicative of food that's growing wild. There can be other ones that you don't see very readily if it's a very small patch, but look for that bright orange, it's a good one. This kind of yellowish color, that indicates resources piled on the ground. In future builds, it's been discussed that resources that are lying on the ground will decay. At the moment they don't, so you can just leave them there, but if you don't want to do that too much, go to your resource gathering buildings. You'll see you have 2 sizes, a lumber shack, a lumber mill, a stone shack, and stone masonry. The shacks can hold up to 50 of their respective resources. The mill and the masonry can hold up to 150. The benefit that's planned for these is that people who are actually assigned to work at them will gather the chosen resource significantly faster. So I'm going to go ahead and build a stone shack up here, and I'll build a lumber shack right about here. And let's see what they need. Okay, I'm going to need more lumber to get these things done, and so while some people are working on building that, I'm going to assign other people to come and gather resources so that there's stuff ready for them. Continuing while they do that through the other items, there's lighting. The small wood torch is the only lighting implement that's extra at the moment. You start with 5 of those that are built into your village center. They cast light around you. When mobs are introduced to the game, that's going to be probably pretty important to be able to see and perhaps keep them from spawning near you. So don't underestimate the value of good lighting. We've got resource storage. At the moment, this is a food storage. It holds overflow from your farms. As time develops, you can get to the point where you are growing more food than you're eating, and you definitely want to store that stuff up because hard times can be ahead. You can also build walls of various size. Stone walls are the biggest, sturdy walls in the middle, some wood basic walls, which are what you see around the shacks that started there. Again, when mobs are in, you're going to want walls and anything else you can throw at it to try and defend yourself, because this game, there is no way to win it. You will lose, in fact. However, it's a matter of how long can you survive. It's a little bit of a tower defense on top of a city building or a town building. And so it's going to be an adventure getting your walls up and doing all of this early building while you're being attacked by monsters. That's another place, obviously, where leveling up and getting villagers with higher stats comes in. Some of the buildings that are planned for the future, medical clinics, things like that. Very, very much going to be in demand. Yeah, I see, I didn't pay attention enough to how much wood I had, so I'm getting a little slowed down by the wood. But that's alright. Now, let me take a quick talk through some of the other elements of the game. Double checking my reference sheet here. Well, let's see. I think I've got most of the items that you want to think about when you're first getting started in this InDev. It is, it is what it is. It's an InDev. There are things being added to it every day or two. New versions, experimental versions are constantly being posted, and requests for feedback, things of that nature. And so your suggestions are really helpful if you drop by the forums, again, retropixelcastles.com. They're listening. Ray, who's the lead developer, he's very interactive on the forums. His staff are very interactive. They'll talk to you, they'll sort out ways of doing things, and hey, we've still got a couple days left on the Kickstarter, so try out the demo, see if you like it, and swing by Kickstarter to support it. There's content creation levels actually started surprisingly affordably, and so I was happy to jump on board with that, and I hope you are too. This is Boss Llama once again. Enjoy Retro Pixel Castles, and hope to see you around.